We're striking because the UC has not been bargaining in good faith. I hope to gain a little bit of attention from the rest of the campus, the rest of the administration, and the people who are actually making these decisions. Because if they claim they don't know that this is going on, then if we're out here making a stink, they can't make that claim anymore.
No deliveries today! We're strike! You got the rise to walk. You can try, get out of here. Woo!
We are all here because we are concerned. We are genuinely concerned over the current state of the university. As an organizer for events today, I saw how quickly this coalition of people, we have undergrads. Where are you at, undergrads? We have faculty. Where are you at, faculty? We also have graduate students here, and of course our staff and unions. I say, let's take this rally after the speakers here today. Let's march to Murphy Hall. Let administration know that we are here. And let them look at us as a part of the solution. In the future of this university, this state, and the country. Whose university? Our university!
My clinic was a clinic of 4 nurses. All 4 of us got laid off, so the patients are now dealing with outside nurses coming in. It affects patient care because us as nurses here, this is our patients are valuable to us. They're the most important thing. We're here for them. So if they're bringing outside parties to take care of the patients, it's not personal. The patients don't get the same quality care as when you're here, when you care about the university, when you care about the facility. Well, I lost my job 4 months ago, and I lost my benefits. I had to go home and tell my kids I didn't have a job. I struggle every month to pay the rent, like a lot of people in California, and I understand that there's a crisis. But this university does have money. This university has money in reserve, and they're keeping the reserve instead of helping out the students and helping out the workers. I struggle every day trying to figure out how I'm going to pay the rent and how I'm going to buy food for my 3 kids.
I think it's important that people who work anywhere are treated fairly, especially because even though we're students in just a few years, or for me in just a year, I'll be entering the workforce myself, and you know, whether you have a degree or not, or, you know, no matter what type of service you provide, you're still a human being and should be treated well and respected.
They're projecting a 32% increase this fall for the next coming year, which will put our tuition up to $10,302. And with the current budget agenda, the cut to crucial services like night Powell and writing services, and the layoff of lecturers and teacher assistants, it becomes much harder for me to reach out and find resources that will help me excel in my academics while balancing being a student, a daughter, a sister, a friend, and a community member.
For one, I am a commuter, and it's because I can't afford to live on campus, and even increasing tuition has definitely made that even worse because a lot of people can't even afford to be at school, and the people that can afford to be at school are those are the working class.
Welcome, everybody. Come on in right here. Unfortunately, we've had a few budget cuts this year, and so the sections are closed. So come on in, have a seat. Plenty of room on the floor here, too, if you want to sit on the floor. In case you thought you were in the wrong place, this is work, labor, and social justice in the United States. And so this is a course that looks at the history and the contemporary issues around work and inequality, really. We ask, can you have a democratic society if some people have so much more wealth, so much more power? And it's an open question, a question that people across the 20th century and now into the 21st century have tried to answer in many different ways. So that'll be a big part of our story this quarter. But unfortunately, due to the budget cuts, I have an 8% furlough, and so I'm going to be taking a 3-minute break right now.
It's projected to cost you $10,300 to be here. And that's not your room and board included. Now you'd think for that kind of price you'd actually get seating. Take off that tape. Mr. Gorbachev, take down that tape. You guys who are on that, take down the tape. Collective action makes change.
Okay, well that was nice. How's everybody enjoying my furlough? The short version of this is that there have been unprecedented cuts from the state to the University of California system-wide, including UCLA. 20% cuts from the state, $130 million budget gap for just this year, faculty and staff on furloughs. There was a 10% cut to student services. You may have heard that the libraries will be closed on Saturdays. The system as a whole was envisioned in the late 1950s by California politicians and activists who saw there was, because of the baby boom, there would be a huge expansion in the number of college students in the 1960s and 1970s. And they also saw that in a world that was moving into just the first stages of using computers and high technology, the aerospace industry, that having higher education available to the people of California would create a society of skilled workers. By the 1990s, there was the beginning of a long-term defunding of the university. And in the early 2000s, in an effort to address that, we got something called the Budget Compact. And the idea was here that the governor was threatening drastic cuts. And so in return for not getting drastic cuts, the systems agreed that they would look for money outside of the state and begin to decouple the relationship between the state and the universities. The master plan had seen education as a public good, something that essentially was owned by the people of California because it was paid for by the people of California. The compact modifies this. How did we get here? How did we get, so, you know, there are these long-term budget issues. There's the long-term shift away from state funding that's happening across the board, not just in California, but in other states. But we're in something different right now. We're in a deep crisis moment for our economy, and especially for California. We're at an interesting moment where economic crisis and political crisis are coming together. And unfortunately, for all of us in this room, those of us who work here and those of us who come as students and those of us who do both, it's affecting our daily lives. And what we'll do is we'll do our best to get through this year for you, give you the education you deserve, and hopefully we'll all learn a little bit something about how to make the world a better place.